I said it softly, like it didn't matter, like it was just a gentle pause, not a full stop. I'm not ready for love, that's all I said. But he heard something else. He heard goodbye. And I guess in a way it was. If you've ever pushed someone away, not because you didn't care, but because you cared too much and were too scared to admit it, this one's for you. Drop a comment, let's be honest together. We weren't official, not really, but he'd become my favorite notification, the reason I checked my phone first thing in the morning. He was the calm after a decade of chaos, a good kind of quiet I didn't know I needed. We met at my friend's engagement party. He made a joke about the shrimp being overcooked. I laughed harder than I should have. It wasn't a movie moment, but it stayed. His name was Eli. Soft smile, thoughtful eyes, the kind of man who listened if I really listened. He remembered I liked my coffee extra sweet and that I hated loud bars. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't chasing attention. He just showed up again and again. And that terrified me. I was used to people loving loudly and leaving suddenly. You know the type. Intense texts at 2 a.m., disappearing acts by the weekend. But Eli stayed. He never made promises he couldn't keep. Never made me question my worth. So when I started feeling something real, I panicked. Because with him there were no games to decode, no red flags to distract me, no drama to drown in, just comfort and safety. And that made me feel exposed in ways I hadn't expected. I remember the night I said it. It wasn't a fight, there were no tears. We were lying on my couch, some old movie playing in the background. He reached over, laced his fingers through mine and said, I really like being around you. It should have made me feel warm. Instead, I felt cornered by my own fear. So I looked at him, smiled like I was doing both of us a favor and said, I'm not ready for love. That's it. He paused just for a moment like he was trying to make sense of what I just said. Then he nodded. Thanks for being honest. That was the last full sentence he ever said to me. No dramatic exit, no guilt tripping, no late-night message asking what I really meant. He just disappeared, gently, like someone who respected me enough to believe my words even if they shattered him. At first I thought he'd come back, that he just needed time, that maybe he'd text something simple, want to talk, and I'd fix it. But the days turned to weeks, and his silence stayed soft and final. I started checking his Instagram like a stranger, noticed he'd unfollowed me. Not blocked, not bitter, just gone. Like he was making room for someone who wouldn't flinch when love showed up. I began remembering the quiet things. The way he'd gently place his phone face down every time we were together. The way he noticed when I was mentally checking out and would ask, "Where are you right now?" Not in a jealous way, just present, curious, caring. And I realized I had spent so long surviving the wrong kind of love. I didn't recognize the right kind when it was standing in front of me. I told myself I was being cautious, that I didn't want to hurt him by promising something I couldn't give. But truth, I was scared. Scared he'd see the mess behind my smile. Scared that if I let him in, he'd leave. So I left first. I said, "I'm not ready." And he said, "Okay." And that was that. I dated after him. People who looked good on paper, people who laughed at the right moments and said all the right things. But no one felt like Eli, because no one sat with my silence the way he did. No one remembered the way I like my eggs. No one ever said my name like it was worth saying, slow. One night I opened our old messages. They were still there. Every dumb meme, every text me when you get home. Every "you've got this." I typed. I didn't mean what I said. I was scared. "I miss you." Then I stared at the screen and deleted it. Not because I didn't mean it, but because I think he's moved on. And if he hasn't, then maybe he still remembers and is choosing silence anyway. Either way, I get it, I really do. Here's what I've learned. People don't always fight to stay, not because they don't care, but because they finally believe you when you tell them not to. And that kind of respect hurts more than anger ever could. So if you're reading this and someone's offering you something slow, something kind, something real, don't run. Don't say, "I'm not ready," just because it's safer than saying, "I'm scared." Say the scary thing, say the honest thing, say, "I want this," even if it terrifies me. Because when I told him I wasn't ready for love, he believed me. He walked away and he never looked back. And now I sit in the quiet he left behind, a quiet I chose, thinking about what could have been if I had just been brave enough to.